The more you know. Brought to you by Flagstaff, Rockwood, building better RVs, making smarter RVers.
Last week, we began a conversation about what in the heck you need to really do before you leave the dealership with your brand new RV, and we only scratched the surface. Let's rejoin our friend Andre Fisher from the Rockwood Flagstaff plant with a bit more from that conversation.
And I suggest don't take your kids with you. I know the kids are probably excited. You got to be focused. This is the time when you need to be laser focused on whatever that tech or whoever's doing the walkthrough. You need to be focused on what they say. And I love your idea about taking your smartphone, videotaping the thing, but don't videotape a 2-hour segment.
Right.
I mean, you're not saying that, right?
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. Go to the things that you think you might forget or that you've never talked about before. Maybe you've never discussed how to hitch up a camper. Talk about that. That's very important. And there's some elements that you really need to know, like hitch height and where the bars go and where the safety chains go, and make sure the battery disconnect things off and on and different things like that. It is so very important. And then another great thing is when you get it home, do a trial run. Camp in your driveway for a day. Mm-hmm. Make sure the refrigerator works. How do I turn it on? Because at home, there's a lot of references right there on a Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, Thursday morning that you can call your dealership and say, hey, for some reason I can't get the fridge work. Oh, did you turn it on in this location? No, I didn't. I had totally forgotten about that. Great. If you do that trial run, it's going to save you a lot of, a Saturday night scare, so to speak, trying to get you to where you want to go with either using your furnace or whatever it may be.
I think the way you started this conversation is saying that as before you ever leave the dealership, you need to get the phone number of a contact person in the event you run up against a dead end or you're like clueless about something happened at a contact at the dealership on that Saturday afternoon when they may be closed, but you need some help with whatever it happens to be. That is a really important thing to do, and hopefully get somebody that will really answer the phone and appreciate you.
Absolutely. And that's where the app comes in. And if it is 10 o'clock Saturday night, Eastern Standard or on the West Coast, where you know that no one's going to answer the phone, at least have a reference. But to get that number, just to ask a simple question is priceless. And I know a lot of great salesmen and great techs take those calls after hours. You have an after hours service that, hey, for some reason I need some help here, whatever it may be. That's just invaluable information, because at that point, you don't know what to do. And you might attest, a great thing is if you're at a campground, find a friend. Campers love talking about their campers, whatever brand you have. And it's such a great reference.
If there are, when I'm doing the walkthrough, actually before I do the walkthrough, when I'm in the buying process and I walk through and I find a camper I like, I find the floor plan, I really like this, but guys, there's some obvious stuff that hasn't been fixed. And part of me would think, well, wouldn't the dealer have that fixed before I even look at it? Does that mean that the PDI wasn't done or was done poorly? Should that be a sign of what might happen in the future if they didn't care enough to take care of some of the obvious things before I even signed on the bottom line? I mean, maybe
yes,
go ahead.
An excellent inspection. That's a great process to bring up. Make sure your camper look at everything. Ask questions of the person that's walking through it. You personally walk through it. Maybe you're done with the sale and they give you the walkthrough. Take some time and just say, I'm just going to check it out. Make sure molding is attached properly. Make sure the slide's working in and out. Make sure you can run that awning in and out. Whatever looks a little weird, you're still there at the dealership. Hey, I found these screws or this piece of molding that fell off. Can you reattach that for me? Oh, of course. And I wouldn't say it's the dealership that it's a bad dealership, because it happens to everyone, including every dealership with every camper. Sometimes the tech misses something, they see something, and they go out to answer the phone to help somebody else. When they come back and they're putting together something else, or they're checking it off like, yep. We all do that in everyday life, but this is your camper too. So make sure you do a really good visual inspection of that camper before you leave the lot. And if you can stay there the night, I know there's a lot of dealerships. Doesn't matter if you can or can't, but if you can stay the night there, what a great time. You can spend the night, you can do your trial run there. In the morning when you wake up and you're having a cup of coffee, you go over and talk to Jake. Your guy is like, hey, Jake, I tried to turn on the furnace last night. I got a little cold and I couldn't get it. Let's go take a look at it. You got to turn on the gas And then you got to, oh, okay, great. I totally forgot about that. Thank you so very much. There's a lot of things. I'm glad you brought up the inspection of your camper before you even leave the dealership, because as a manufacturer, I want to make sure when you leave that dealership, your camper cannot be in better shape. It's as new as it's ever going to be. Coming out from the line here to there, we want to make sure that we have the best quality going.
Now, that was a small part of a conversation that Andre and I had. You can catch every one of our segments that we call The More You Know on our YouTube channel.